If you were me and you were in my body, would you be afraid of the police? Based on what's going on in the world, in America, would you be afraid? Would you be nervous to drive in a car with your son? Would you be afraid if you had any interaction with the police?
So I'll tell you a story. So for about 4 or 5 years of my career, I worked surveillance, and I had very long hair at a time when very long hair was not popular. And you know, my job was to work criminals in tough neighborhoods. And I have literally, because of the way I looked and the car I drove and the way I drove it, I've been stopped hundreds of times, hundreds. And there is always tension, always. The solution to that is empathy on both sides of the glass. You know what? Think about what the police officer is going through as he approaches a car, maybe at night, maybe it's dark, maybe he has information you don't know about. Think about what he's going through and try to empathize with their situation. And what I tell my cops is that the driver, empathize with his situation. You know, maybe he's never been pulled over before. Maybe he just got pulled over yesterday by an officer that didn't treat him very well. You know, have some empathy. And if there's empathy on both sides of that transaction, you know, then everybody's going to be fine.
So you believe if I carry empathy in my heart, that I'm less susceptible?
Well, if you display empathy, in other words, if you understand what the actions of the police officer, and therefore, you know, recognize that they may be on edge as they approach, that they, you know, the initial encounter is the most dangerous part of a traffic stop. I think that you have to remember those things, you know, and if you do those things, then certainly in Los Angeles, you know, we don't see issues that come out of that.
Right. Well, I guess if the empathy is mutual, because people allege that they do all the right things and police officers are still sort of on edge. So I guess you just gotta hope that humankind can prevail over scared police officers and scared people in cars.
Well, and I agree with that. And that's why I think this is, you know, from my point of view, this is one of the most, you know, everybody talks about the conversation, you know. And
as in the conversation.
As in the conversation.
Which is what?
Which is the conversation between parents and particularly their teenage and adult sons about how to act when you get stopped by the police.